Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about what the enemy has been doing. Still radiation, and still being attacked with various kind of weapons. And my carbon monoxide detector is just going crazy, and for no reason. And so anyhow, the enemy is, attacking me with all those weapons. So I'm not trying to just to sorry, it's a little windy. Can't even hear myself talk. Anyhow, they are attacking you with these weapons, radiation, because remember the guy I told you guys to sub to his channel? He goes by the name, he goes by the channel name called Enter the Stars. I'm gonna link him in the comment section. You guys can watch him, and he's gonna help you guys understand why they're attacking you with radiation. I watched an episode from him yesterday, and he talks about this draconian, Luciferian and satanic, or the synagogue of Satan, children of Satan. Remember I told you their blood is not like ours. Their blood is like synthetic, some sort of like I thought it was black because from the TV show Lord of the Ring, it showed they have like, Sirion had black blood. But apparently, because he, entered the star yesterday, he talks about he talked about another TV show. Yeah, another TV show where they went to this planet and their blood, some sort of they had to re-engineer their blood, or they did something to their blood. They did something to their blood that made their blood black. It's like genetic, maybe it's a mutation. I don't know what it is. But anyhow, he talks about that. I'm gonna see if I can link you the video. You can watch. You can need to sub to his channel. He's very, very good. But anyhow, he talked about they did something to their blood that made it the way it is. That's why it's black, right? But he says blue. He's talking about blue blood. But anyhow, it's in a Lord of the Ring. It looks black. It should look black or gray to me. It didn't look blue, But anyhow, excuse my French. I was gonna say something very bad. But anyhow, their blood is blue apparently, and so he talks about this injection people got. This injection people got, they introduced this blood into our DNA, because when eclipses activate their DNA. It makes people go crazy and yada yada yada. And the more intention is like their main intention is to make people anti-God. They don't want people to be for God. They are anti-God. They're against God. And just this was kind of going on. Yeah, I haven't, yeah, that was going on. So anyhow, he talks about what happened and why they did that. They did when they changed their blood. They changed it to withstand radiation. So nuclear radiation or radiation and stuff, they did that to the blood to withstand it. Because okay, the floods happens more than once. There's fire came in Earth as well more than once, and there's also the nuclear bombs before Hiroshima. I'm saying like like after creation. There were atomic bomb was dropped. In the Middle East, to be specifically. And it was Enlil who dropped it. I think Enlil who dropped atomic bomb. And Enlil is, I think, Satan is the same person. And because this planet was governed by, this planet was governed by Enlil, Enki, and Ashara, or they call her also. She goes by many names. The Virgin Mary or Hecate, all of that. She goes by a lot of names. Anyhow, she governed the Middle East, part of the Middle East, and specifically Palestine. Was Palestine, the war is going on there now? Yeah. So Enlil was, where was he? Europe? I can't remember where, but he was not Africa. Africa was Enki. So Enki, he's the one who governed, Africa, mostly Egypt, which is Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, and so it's like the Nubian kingdom, right? And so, and basically Enki is he rules over genetics. Enki. So he was, over creation, keeping the genetic records and stuff. Enlil, I don't know what, I think Europe. Was he Europe? Somewhere. It was not Africa, it was somewhere else. Because Inanna, Ishtar, Hecate, and she over the Middle East. She rules over the Middle East. You understand? So anyhow, there were atomic bomb thrown at them. That why you have to. Okay. Enter the Star. He was talking about. He didn't talk about this. Okay. But why would you have to go through such extreme to change your blood to withstand nuclear radiation? Unless you were been attacked in the past with that radiation, with atomic bombs, right? So there, and if you go to history deep, you'll find out Middle East was bombed before atomic bomb. Enlil threw atomic bomb in Middle East, okay. And then, so that's what happened. So that's why they changed their blood. They changed their blood to this because they've been exterminated. This bloodline is being exterminated. They've been like, God, tried the fire, many times and tried God tried teaching them. God tried teaching them many times. He didn't lose hope on them. But they're refusing to repent and to stop harming people, Sodom and Gomorrah was another extermination. The fire extermination, the flood was an extermination. Okay, atomic bomb thrown by Enlil in the Middle East was extermination. You understand? Okay. So that's what's happening, And so these people, okay, Sodom and Gomorrah, I mentioned that in my previous video. It was not about, homosexuality. It was about wickedness. You know what I'm saying? The focus always been like on homosexuality, but it's not about that. It was about, because okay, back in the day, the same people have a lot of money because they are Satan's children, the same one. Okay, they used to hate on men, and because they were wealthy and they have money and stuff, and if a man rejected them, they would wage a war on that person, family, and entire bloodline. You understand? So it was not really about homosexuality. It's about, what they've done. You know what I mean? Modeling, just like about hatred, and not coping with rejections, and when the person rejected them, then they will make their life a living hell. And we're living in that times, we're living in those times now, where the Pharaoh and Moses and God, killed their godfather, the Pharaoh that went after Moses. And who else? Just a lot of stories, Middle East being atomic bomb used in the Middle East, the floods, flood of Gilgamesh and the flood of Noah, and the also the fire on earth, all these things happening, and I was just listening to Faded. It's about, they singing about, the song is about Atlantis, and where have you gone, Atlantis, and whatnot. And God flooded Atlantis because they were living in Atlantis too. Okay, and also they were doing stuff. That way Atlantis was gone. You understand? So when you understand that, the enemy of God always been one, not many, not a lot of people. It's just Satan's seed is the enemy of God. That's it. And that why when you've been targeted, like me or many other targeted individuals, when you refuse what they're offering you, because to go against God, it pisses them off, because they want warriors. If you think the war of tomorrow, watch that movie. There were what do you call it? Going back in time, 30 years, because they can only go up to the third. They cannot go beyond the third dimension. You understand? Because God, when God divided the heavens and separated the heaven from earth and whatnot, to keep them here. Yes, a lot of people are talking about the earth is a jail. Yes, it's not for humanity. It's not. Jail is not for humanity. If you know and you understand what I just told you. I just told you that jail is not for us. Okay? It's for them, to keep them here. So they are looking from that movie, the War of Tomorrow, is someone to, they remember they were coming in and they said, where are you 30 years from now? And if you don't help us, there will not be us anymore. You'll be exterminated. Because, okay, in that movie, that judgment happening in the third dimension before it comes to earth. Because they can go as far as the third dimension. They cannot go further beyond the third dimension. because God locked them into the earth. They cannot leave. And now, these people cannot leave. Even their mother planet cannot send people here anymore. They've been locked into this planet. Yes, it's gonna be judgment coming, and it started actually. It's in the third dimension. It started already, and it's coming to Earth. You know, and why do you think they made all these weapons? What Donald Trump bragging about, weapon they use on Palestinians. Palestinians are the house of Jesus, or Isa, the true Jesus, not the fake Jesus they gave you, who's their father. Their father is Zeus, or Satan, whatever. That's who they got people to worship. They got people to worship Satan, as he was God, but he's not God, But anyhow, to get back to that point is they are deceitful kind of people. It's in their fabric. And remember, I mentioned to you guys in the past, the crown of England. They were living in Egypt, because I told you this. Why? Remember, I told you when I visit my sisters in London, and I've gone to like places throughout London, and I could see Egyptian buildings, and I could see artifacts and stuff. Not just a museum. It's like houses, building, and stuff like that. Actually, in London, UK. Okay, and I could not understand. I looked at it and I said, "Why? This is not just in fascination with the Egyptian. This is deeper, And when I told you that these people left Egypt after God destroyed their forefather, the Pharaoh who went after Moses, they picked up and left Egypt. Where did they go? They went to UK, and they created what you see now, United Kingdom. Okay. So when you understand that, I found a video that back up what I just told you. Okay, I did not know for sure this is what happened, but when I saw all these things in UK, and I just looked at it and I just said, what's going on here? It just hits you. You know what? I'm very perceptive kind of person, and I know how to link things together that makes sense. When I link something together to one thing to another, I'm never wrong. Never wrong. I'm on point. And that, I'm going to link this video for you guys to watch in the comment section. You guys can watch, and you're going to find out what I told you is true. Okay? So they're really like family members. They're African like us. Okay? But they don't want to be African. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. Nothing with being African. I'm African. You think I'm Canadian? I was not born in Canada. I am from the kingdom of Kush. The civilization ruled there many, hundreds of years. Okay? So I'm not from Canada, you know what I mean? Find me one prophet or, from a history books that actually from Canada or North America or any of that. They all been from Africa or Middle East. Find me a Chinese, find me one Chinese prophet. Find me Japanese, find me Australian, find me Canadian, find me American. You cannot find, because they're none. Okay? They're all from the same area, So they're all from the same neighborhood. And why? Because civilization, as National Geographic said, I mentioned it in a video before. Just go look for it. I have like over 1,400 videos. 1,400. Anyhow, National Geographic, I mentioned that in one of the videos. National Geographic says civilization started from Sudan, Kingdom of Kush, you know, and yeah, so creation came from there within the earth. That why when you see, you also look up what I'm just telling you. The Pope, the one who passed away, I can't remember his name. It's that forgetful. But anyhow, he died. The one who died, he went to South Sudan and he was kissing South Sudanese leaders' feet. Okay, and they're telling you if you look online, they're telling you because oh he's kissing the feet of South Sudanese because he want the war to end and stuff. That's not true. No, it's not true. They're kissing the feet of South Sudanese because they know what they've done. The great mother, they've done something to her. As Sudanese are direct extension from the great mother. You know what I'm saying? So they're seeking forgiveness from her for what they've done, but yet they continue to do horrible things in the world. You understand? So God is not, asleep, unaware of what's going on. You're gonna kiss, whatever feet you're gonna kiss, and then you continue to do wrong. There's no forgiveness gonna come, because you did not stop. You kiss the feet. Yes, it's a ritual. It was a ritual. Look it up. Look it up. Pope kissing, South Sudanese feet. You'll see. You see what I'm telling you. Well, I'm telling you why he did it. Not because of to stop the war or whatnot, just to ask for forgiveness of what they've done. Okay? Because they know judgment is coming. But then they continued. I found another video, the Rothschild, the guy who died, and he also is stating that they're, created Israel, and he said there were two fractures. They're looking to create a country, and they wanted and they came to United Kingdom and asking because Palestine was a colony colonized by the British and under their ruling. So the British gave it to them, gave it to who did not give it to another Jews. What you see in Israel now, they're not the true Jews. Okay? What you see in Israel, they're not the true Jews. Okay? They are the bloodline of Satan, the synagogue of Satan. They're not the true Jews. The true Jews has been exterminated. The Palestinians, they are the bloodline of also the prophets. They're from the house of Abraham. Okay? So you know what? I watched that and I'm like, said to myself, wow, I'm right again, about what I've said, and I've proof in the pudding, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna link it for you guys. You can watch. You're gonna say this, I'm crazy because I've said that before to my family members, and they're like, you sound a little nuts, that's not true. Don't tell people they're gonna think you're not educated. That's how a dumb person sound, because they're brainwashed. These people are, my family are brainwashed like everybody else to believe in lies. And so when something is far-fetched, they do not get it. They think is dumb. Don't be not, conspiracy theory. This is just an conspiracy theory. This is not blah, blah, blah. You know why the MI6 created the word conspiracy? Conspiracy theory. That was MI6 created that word. Why? To deny the truth. When something is truthful, you create a word that make a person sound, not really, you don't believe that person, you mocking that person. You understand? It's a mockery, a form of mockery, was created intentionally to deny the truth. Okay? And that's what I'm telling you. So you guys believe me if you want, you don't have to. I'm not holding a gun, on your head. You have, I'm talking like everybody on YouTube. But what I'm saying, they do not like it because, you know, I'm telling too much. I'm telling too much. They don't like it. You know why I'm not being left alone? Because I'm just telling you, I'm exactly like Into the Stars and many different channels, the truth channels. They're talking about things. At least I can support it with things and documentation and stuff. But anyhow, it's you don't have to believe me, guys, but the war on God is being on by these people till the end of day. So now they're introducing their genetics into ours, through this injection you got. Otherwise, you'll not be able to travel. And these introduction of their genetics to withstand radiation. That's why I've been attacked by radiation. Why they're attacking me with radiation? To demonically inhabit you and basically to possess you. It's a form of, this injection. If you, the needle is Satan fang, like a snake fang. So when you got it, you actually introduced his DNA because you've went and got it on your own free will. Otherwise, you will not be able to eat or go to work or travel, or it's like they're pressuring you to get something. It goes against God creation. God perfected our creation. Then they came in with all this I don't want to say the word, but then we're gonna flag my video. But anyhow, the word, the VC, you get it, But anyhow, God perfected our and then created these people created many VCs globally since creation to alter our DNA. You understand? All this stuff you get, you make sure your doctor, you got this, you got that, that's, what I'm talking about, right? So anyhow, I just told you why they attacking you with radiation, to keep this possession going, because you already introduced Satan into your vessel by taking the VC. You understand? And when your body begin to heal, because I've been, creating prayers to heal my body and stuff like that. And when it begins to heal, he begin to leave your body because the environment is not right environment for him to stay there. So your body begin to push it out. And then they'll say, no, he's pushing this possession, out of his body. And so they're gonna, and then they continue to attack you with radiation because he thrived through the radiation. You understand? So that's why their blood is withstand radiation. Okay? So this is what I'm telling you, And and I'm gonna link you the video Into the Star where he broke down with why the blood is blue. Is blue. I thought it was gray. It was black. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But anyhow, it's different than ours. It's not red like ours. Okay. And that's what they did to everybody. So people are attacking me. People are attacking me. They ought to be reptilian, draconian, shapeshifter, hybrid, something, because they don't. The more I tell them, the more they do not care. They do not care. Because they do not work from the heart chakra. The draconian, they do not work with the heart chakra. They don't know what love is. You understand? So that's why there are the 6. They are not the 7. You know what I'm saying? Including the heart chakra. Okay? The 4th chakra is the heart. They don't work out of that hot space. Okay? You understand what I'm telling you? So anyhow, and that was going on. Okay? And yeah, that's all I want to talk about. And I think, oh yeah, one more thing. And I knew, remember I also mentioned one of my videos, they hate each other. Remember I mentioned that in one of my videos? I said there is hate, they really dislike each other, but they pretend in public they love each other. Especially the Crown and the Rothschild. They do not like each other. Okay? I looked for the video today, I couldn't find it. But anyhow, there used to be a video I watched long time, maybe like a few years ago, 5 years ago, where the queen went into the banks that run or owned by the Rothschild, and she was standing around bricks of gold because they have all this gold in this big vault, and yeah, she was standing around this brick of gold, and the guy who also passed away, he's one of the videos I'm gonna link in the comment section. I think he was standing there. Yeah, I think he was standing there, and and similar to Trump wife, what her name? I can't remember her name, but anyhow, when she looks at Trump sometimes, her thoughts leave her head that she doesn't like him. She literally hates him. So this is what the Rothschild was looking in the back, with I forgot the camera was rolling. You should have seen the look he was giving the queen. Look at cut glass, man, It's like it was full of hate. So that's what kind of gave me an idea. Remember when I made that video and I said they don't like each other? It's from that video. Because I just saw it and I was like, oh, there's a rivalry in a hen house. They don't like each other. How interesting. Yeah. Guys, probably you will be able to find it. I looked today. I forgot what the video called. But it was the queen, and she was, in the bank, surrounded by a bunch of bricks, and they're talking to her about the gold, talking to her about, something like that. And then he was in the background looking at her, like, nah, the look was not full of love. It was not like, I love you, or they're, looking at the queen, they're like, wow, the queen showed up at the back. He's like, look, infused with a lot of dislike. Okay, I know what I saw. Anyhow, that's all I want to talk about, guys. Look up for the videos in the comment section to prove to you they actually were in Egypt.